Beautiful. Look at that. Just like that, we're live. Yes, it's UK Cowboys TV Season 2, Episode 83, the pre-game show for the game this weekend on Sunday, or Monday morning if you're in the UK. Kick-off 1:25 in the morning, so another early or late one for us. Yay. How you feeling about that, guys? About the late kickoff?
I am going to end up dead.
Well, if it's anything like the last one, we were pretty much up until, like, what was it, 4:30 in the morning?
Yeah, and that wasn't fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And not only was it not fun, you even got, by the way, I have ripped it, a interview. And as you're getting interviewed, there was a touchdown. And Andrew Vellante was there as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. I got bloody Kenman Drake putting a dunk on my head during a live broadcast on national television.
Oh, mate, it wasn't that bad. Don't worry about it.
But it was cool, though. It was cool, like, to talk to Maurice Jones, Maurice Jones, through, like, nice guy, but honestly, man, him and his Jacksonville stuff, nah.
There he is.
Oh, there he is.
There he is, look.
Mr. Valente.
And we've got our first comment, though. We always post the first one up each and every time. The Cowboys will surprise us and win.
I hope so, Rhonda. I bloody hope so. Like, honestly.
Well, let's first of all, let's get Graham a word in. He's been quiet already. You all right there, Gray? How you doing, mate?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Just trying to Google for where our next win's coming from, but nothing's come up just yet. But we'll see how the search goes.
Well, funnily enough, I got some interesting facts on what Vegas think. We'll get to that in a bit later, and I'll give you some factoids on that. First of all, I thought we'd break into some as usual, latest news, injury updates, and some information that's come to us fairly recently. So, first of all, we all know the big news is that Dontari Poe, he's gone. Darryl Worley, he's gone. Everson Griffin, I'm surprised, but I can understand that although they've traded him off to the Lions, obviously the idea behind that is obviously they're trying to get round picks. Now, it's a 6th-round pick, and what I've heard is that it can get turned into a 5th-round pick, depending on certain circumstances. I don't know what they are, and they haven't been released. Whether it's like how many starts he's got, or rosters, or sacks. That's usually the sort of thing they chuck in.
I'll tell you, I find that's a good bit of business, to be perfectly honest with you, when you think about it.
Yeah, it's not bad. Like, I get that. I get the idea.
Here's the thing: a lot of people are concerned with that. It's like, oh, why did we let them go of it, and why we like a compensation package? Are you kidding? It's like, I'm sorry, but that's actually kind of good value of what you think about it, like in terms of what we did for Robert Quinn the year before. We got we traded a 6th round to get him for the year.
Yeah.
So when you put that in perspective, that business, the fact that we can potentially go up to a 5th, hey, I'm all up for that. But,
and here's another thing to think of, right? Is although it is right now a 5th, if you think about it, if you're getting, because we've already got a number of compensatory picks. I know we're going into like draft talk super early, but if you think, if you corral a number of late, day 3 picks, you can, use them as a bartering chip to get back in day 2. So that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about in the game. I
will say is like I'm sorry for people that may have knows, but I've been on Dontari Poe's case for the past 3 weeks. I am just so happy the fact that he's never going to put on a Cowboys jersey ever again after his awful performances. So sorry for that outburst there, and I thought, yeah, I'm just happy now that we can finally move on. It's time for the Gallimore era.
Yeah, well, funnily enough, that's something I bring up on the defensive side. We'll talk about the defensive line. obviously, one of the things is going to be Gallimore's snap percentage is obviously going to go up. A couple of other things that have come through as well, though. Zach Martin has been in practice, so he's practiced fully. So concussion protocol looks like that's behind him, and he's going to be back in. With the way the offensive line is and the number of offensive linemen on injury or out, that's good news, because we were actually going to be super duper short if that was the case. Chidobe Awuzie back at practice. Happy days. Always good to see. I get a question on the defensive side about Chidobe for you guys as well. In other news as well, Andy Dalton, he's in concussion protocol. Doesn't look like he's going to be playing this week. We'll get to Ben DiNucci on the offensive side. But an interesting one for you guys, Xavier Woods. Not at practice at all. And no reason whatsoever. I don't know what you guys think. Is this another chip, do you think, perhaps, in the old trade, dipping their toe into the trade waters with Xavier Woods? Yeah?
Maybe. I mean, after that shocking performance against the Redskins, so he's backpedaling, all sorts like that.
Yeah.
If I was Mike McCarthy, but I don't want to see that ever again. Not in my team.
That's just bad angles. He's just taking bad angles. You can see why he's backpedaling. He's backpedaling because he's in the wrong position, and he's trying to reposition himself. But what he should have done there is open up the outside shoulder to bring the defender back in and use the outside. Basically using your tie line to get him out of bounds. That's what he should have done. But he shouldn't have been in that position to begin with.
Well, exactly. I mean, it was a fucking run play. If he knew it was a run play, why the hell was he so far deep in the first place?
I don't know.
So,
some of it, to me, speaks a bit of scheme, but there is that. Other news, though, guys. Cooper Rush signed back onto the practice squad.
I don't know about that. I can understand why, because Kellen Moore's worked with him before, blah, 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 blah. But still, Rush isn't really a solution to anything right now.
No, I think that's more of a depth thing, because, I mean, you look at it, we're into our third quarterback now. And if he goes down, what are you going to do? So I think that's really what will last there. But apart from that, the only other news that's a bit Cowboys-ish related, well, it will be when we play him, is Des Bryant's been signed to the Ravens.
Congratulations to Brian. He finally got himself a team, but I'm not gonna lie, I am even more scared the fact that he could score a touchdown against us. And
he very much could, yeah.
Like, I think he will. I think he'll ball out. I really do. Because he's one of these days, like, everyone knows what this has been like since he's not been with a team. He's been working his ass off, like, for off season and during the season, doing routes, going to strength and conditioning and stuff like that. Like, he's in top form. So we'll see what he's going to be like for the Ravens. I think he's going to be great for them. I'll be perfectly honest with you, but I just don't want to see him score against us. I really don't. It's just going to be so weird.
What's funny, though, is of all the wide receivers that are out there, there's probably the most tape of him running around at the moment with what he's been like on Instagram.
I know. I mean, here's the thing. Like, when it came to Des Bryant, I was shocked the fact that he was pretty much second on everyone's list. The fact that Antonio Brown got picked ahead of him. Like, after all that scenario earlier and all that stuff. So, but yeah, I know we're not talking about Cowboys, but I was generally a bit surprised about the whole acquisitions, what the Buccaneers were doing. And I was like, well, if there's a wide receiver you want to go after, get Brian, because he's the one who's actually been keeping himself in good shape and that.
Yeah. What do you make of this question, Gray, before we get into offense? Lorne said that he's seen NFL.com, we should trade for Jameis Winston. Do you want the interception machine?
Yeah, because that'll help our defense no end.
We would actually have the argument. It's like, but he still threw for 4,000 yards and scored so many touchdowns. Yeah, but he matched that with his bloody interceptions.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I've seen
like don't get me wrong. Like there's some like Jameis Winston can be a good quarterback. He could be, but I don't know. Oh man, I don't know. I really don't know.
Right, guys, let's go on. Go on, Gray. Go on.
All sorts of trade talk and Cowboys QB position, like they should go after Ryan Fitzpatrick. I saw the Jameis Winston one, and you're thinking, what for? You think Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to step into the Cowboys jersey and suddenly make us a playoff contender? Nah.
Jamie, you can bolt.
Be patient. Be patient on Dalton. Just give Ben DiNucci his lumps. A little bit of experience, and we'll bring Dalton back in. But I mean, if you're there's no point in bringing Winston in or Fitzpatrick because it's going to take them. It's going to take them so long to learn the playbook anyway, and by that time Dalton will be back anyway. So
it's not so much that, mate. When you think about it, if you were to bring someone else new in and they kind of like put them into the start, there'll be a running health risk because the way our O-line is right now.
Yeah,
they'll be like, I'd be more worried getting injured playing for the Cowboys more than anything.
Yeah.
Well, here's one for you.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
No. I know where you're coming from. But here's one for you, right? I thought of this one earlier. With the way Andy Dalton was playing, so we got like a 2-game, I know it's a small sample size, but we still got a sample size of Dalton in the Cowboys offense.
Yeah.
Based on what you saw with everything going on, O-line, structure of the team, leadership, and all the rest of it, would you say you would, even at this stage with what you've seen with Dalton, would you put him on the shelf for now and just go, let's just go DiNucci. Let's see what we got. He's the rookie. We're invested. We spent some time on him. Would you rather just go ahead with him even beyond when we go to Pittsburgh as well?
We did it. We did it with Prescott. I don't see why we don't do it with DiNucci. That's my point of view.
Yeah.
No, I think they'll run. I think they'll run with DiNucci until Dalton's back. That would be pretty tough to put the rookie in there behind that kind of offensive line. I mean, you saw how ineffective the receivers were. It would only make things worse. I think it'd be pretty harsh on DiNucci. It would give him time. Don't get me wrong. It would give him time, but the guy will end up seeing ghosts. At least Dalton has a bit of kind of street smarts about him when he's not got an offensive line in front of him and he can get the ball out quickly. I don't know if DiNucci's quite there yet. From the reports I'm seeing on Twitter, he's a bit of a gunslinger. And we saw that completion to Gallup. That was something sweet.
That was a nice pass.
And if we've got something in DiNucci, I don't want to send them out and to get killed, basically, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And I mean, like, here's some interesting facts, mind, about DiNucci. That is something better you get over Dalton. Is last year, I know this is college and it's FCS as well. He did as well rush for 569 yards and 7 touchdowns. So he does have that mobility, and obviously that means he can use his feet to extend plays. So do you think that's going to play in his favour as an advantage over what we had from Dalton?
I honestly don't know, mate. I really don't know. I can't process this still. The fact that I just can't believe how our seasons just completely went from, like, potentially before the season started, we were favourites to win and go to the playoffs and stuff like that, and all of a sudden we became pretty much the laughingstock of the NFL right now.
Just goes to show you, though, how razor thin everything is in the NFL. That's just how it is. I mean, one thing you do have to look at, I mean, if you go to like any depth chart, you could just Google it right now. You just Google depth chart. All you're going to see on the Cowboy side is questionable, out, IR. You look at the offensive line side. I mean, all that it's just everything's red.
Speaking about the offensive line, I've actually put myself in the hat for that. So if Cowboys want to sign, there goes my pizza. But if they want to sign an old lineman, they can come and get me if they want.
But I mean, like, an interesting thing you've got to look at, I don't know if you agree with this, Gray, is people can say about Ben DiNucci and saying, about the whole thing of, we got a 7th round quarterback going in. Go through the list with me of our last 2 major starting quarterbacks. Who were they?
Major starters. Well,
Yeah.
Dak and Tony Romo.
Okay. And Dak was taken in what round?
4th.
Yeah. And Romo
was
was
undrafted, of course. Yeah.
So it goes to show you that we can get value in not just late round picks, but in an undrafted as well. And the way to look at things at the moment is Ben DiNucci, his NFL record as a starter is 0-0.
Yeah, well, the stats don't lie. Yeah,
the stats don't lie. He's level pegging. Do you know what I mean?
We go back to March, April time, and I think he caught the majority of the Cowboys faithful off guard. Who's Ben DiNucci? You had to start googling the guy, but he's obviously been taken in the 7th round to avoid them hitting rookie free agency. So
yeah,
they must see something in him, and that's one of the reasons why I want them to go with Dalton, because without sounding too cruel, Andy Dalton has 10 games left of his Cowboys career. As it stands, Ben DiNucci's got another 3 years on top of what he has. So if there's something there, let's not kill him for no reason.
Yeah. I mean, like, we'll get to the O-line and their D-line in a second. But the first thing when I went through, just going through some regular stats just to take a look at things, see how things are looking. The most obvious thing that stands out to me at this stage is offense. On offense, we're scoring an average of 25 points per game. On defense, we're allowing 35 points per game. So I don't know what you're making, Gray, of how this works out for us, that even if we were Team 40 Burger, as they were making out, in the off season, that we were all saying, even if that was the case, we were still only within a touchdown of ever winning.
Yeah, but that was with Dak Prescott, Tyron Smith, Lyle Collins.
Yeah.
But that's all gone now, so you kind of have to reevaluate that one, I think. If we were getting some of these guys back, you could see the light at the end of the tunnel, but they're all, the 3 of them are all done for the season, and you're not going to get starters from somewhere else. So that's why I called. I called it on the podcast. I think I said 24-10, and I wasn't far off, because
you were not far off at all, mate.
I mean, obviously we'll get to the Eagles game, but you go with the offensive firepower. We've got 3 first-round players at wide receiver, and we've got a new gunslinging QB and untested and all that kind of stuff. But there's always this little voice in the back of your head going, "Yeah, but you've got 2 very serviceable left tackles. You've got you still don't know who the left guard is. A rookie at centre. I mean, it's great. It's great we've got Zach Martin coming back, but there's a little bit of it's a tidal wave coming. There's only so much the guy can do."
Yeah, of course.
You've got to stay positive, but really, really struggling.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the problem that we've got, right? You know me, I'll go through in the day when we go to do this show, just going through, watching some bits and pieces, trying to get some numbers and stats, right? So our offensive line, believe it or not, in pass protection ranks 18th. I know. Yeah, I know that's crazy to say, but honestly, it does. Although we ranked, I can't remember. I'd have to go back and check. I'll send you the link to the page. We ranked 25th. Yeah, it will be 25th in sacks, right? But here's the problem: is we ranked 25th in sacks. We're against a D line, that the Eagles D line, that are third in the NFL in total sacks.
See, I mean,
I know, and I hate to be the bringer of all things bad news, but this is where it is right now. You know, I mean, go on. You was going to give me a take, Greg. Give me a take.
Yeah, I mean, compare last Sunday to this Sunday. Pretty much everything is on a par or an improvement. I would say their defensive line is where they've spent all their money, whether it be draft capital or salary cap. They have their QB. They have, fair enough, they've lost Jackson, but they've got a new guy in Fulgham. Is it Fulgham? You pronounce
Fulgham, yeah, and he's on fire at the moment.
He's coming out of nowhere. I've picked him up in a couple of fantasy leagues, and it pained me to do it, but I was desperate for receiver. We've downgraded at QB. We've slightly held at offensive line. We have a Michael Gallup that had two targets or 2 receptions last week.
Mm-hmm.
We can't get the ball out, and this week it's going to be even tougher. So
yeah. And I mean, the issue we've got is Tyron Smith is still injured, right? I know we're sticking with the O-line at the moment, which means at left tackle with Ben DiNucci, a rookie quarterback, we're going to have to plug back in Cam Irvin. And I don't know if you've watched the game tape, Gray, on Cam.
Oh, God.
I mean, it's a tough watch. You're seeing defensive ends and linebackers just dash past him.
Yeah. I commented on the show on Tuesday night. I said, Cam Irvin doesn't need coaching. He needs an optician. Because any offensive line coach in the world couldn't fix that. If you can't see a pass rusher, I don't know how to help you.
yeah. And I mean,
sorry, I'm just in case anyone wants to know, it's actually Haggis Pizza I'm eating. Believe it or not.
Are you joking?
I'm being serious. Haggis Pizza.
You're disgusting. You disgust me.
Oh, shut up, you.
Haggis
wash your mouth.
Howling. Haggis is howling.
Mike, wash your mouth out.
I know I'm speaking to two Scots here, but nah. Nothing beats a Welsh cake, right? Welsh cake, lava bread, that's it. Haggis.
Mate,
nah.
You've no love.
Nah, you haven't. But just for the followers on the podcast, you should see the comments that this pizza is getting. It's quite unbelievable. We may well have a new sponsor by the end of the week if this keeps up. Don't put them out just yet, Paul. You never know, we might get a phone call.
I'm not a fan of haggis. But before we get things completely off the rails, there's a lot of people commenting right now about the pizza and haggis. So let's try and get things back on the Cowboys track. I know that the idea of the pre-game show is to hype people up and put a smile on their faces, but let's keep things flowing here, should we say? Yes. So one of the things that's popping out at the moment that popped out to me, Brandon Graham. For the Eagles. So far, 6 sacks and 2 forced fumbles. He's going to be going up against... He's on form. And just to make you feel even better, Derek Barnett and Josh Sweat, both over 3.5 sacks as well. Josh Sweat with another 2 forced fumbles. So they're getting the turnovers on their D-line. And you can also run in as well with the rest of the guys, Fletcher Cox, Malik Jackson, their safety Jalen Mills as well. He's got like literally a tick in all the boxes, tackles, sacks, interceptions, forced fumbles, fumble recovery. I mean, they're all in there. The only thing I have noticed, I don't know if you guys have on defense, on the Eagles' defense, which I think is going to play into Pollard's favor, right? Is that against the inside run, they are really good. They will clog and cover.
I know where you're going with this. Yep.
Yeah, bounce it on the outside and they're gone. I don't know if you guys have seen that. Now, I think Zeke is fine for doing that, but I think for Tony Pollard, this is the game where you can see him going off on the outside and going for a big game. I don't know what you guys think of
that. I'll be honest. I struggle to see where any of it's coming from just now. I've got to be honest. They must know that their deficiencies.
Oh yeah.
The boxes will be loaded. They'll be ready for the run game. And even with Andy Dalton in there, we saw loaded boxes, and you didn't know where the blitz was coming from, and it was impossible to pick up. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it almost makes me want to put 2 tight ends on every single play and see if we can, run the ball and almost give up the deep play. Just try and hold on to the ball.
Well, the deep play, I mean, are you on about on offense now?
Yeah.
Because, well, I think those deep plays, they're not going to come so much off the pass, and I think they're going to be coming on outside zone runs.
Yeah,
and you can see that if you watch them against a zone run on the outside, they'd struggle.
I'll be honest. I think we're actually going to do okay in the passing game. It's like you said, though, Mike. It's the inside run I'm more concerned about. It's that
the inside run that they clog it up well.
Their front seven, like as much as I hate the Eagles with an absolute passion, they've got a trash fan base, and I'll keep saying that to the day I die. Their front seven for the past 5, 6, 7 years, they've always been like above average. Always have been, like, because they always keep kind of like bringing in the right players to accommodate certain positions and that. We've not been doing, like, I know we're not talking about our defense, but we've not been doing that. But for our offense, I think this is going to be the toughest defense we're up against, right, for this season, I reckon.
Well, last week, we went there, kicked the field goal, that was it. Last week, Michael Gallup, 0 targets, 0 receptions, 0 yards. CeeDee Lamb, 2 targets, 1 reception, 2 yards, I think it was. I did write it down. Do you think we need... Go on, hit me with it, Paul.
It was just one of those games from the get-go. Everybody's head was down. It was when that safety came in. Everybody's head came down. So I'm just hoping with DiNucci getting the more reps in, and according to Gallup and according to Dave Hellman, who released the tweet earlier today saying that Ben DiNucci's been swinging that, he's done swinging it. So that's good. That's good. It's good to see that it's been happening. But I'll be honest, I'm apprehensive about anything that comes out from the media right now, like to try and get our hopes up right now. I'll believe it when I see it. You know?
Yeah. I mean, like, one of the things to look at as well is when I was going through our offensive line, and we'll get to Andrew's question in a moment about Dak, because that is a good one. Is they're also 10th in running back. So their O-line is the O-line is 10th in running back success, if you like. Basically, it's adjusted yards. So they're getting the job done. And ironically, is most of that is on outside runs too.
Yep. And that's the thing we're struggling the most. Like, well, I'll talk about that in defense later, but that's one of the things we've been struggling the most. Is outside runs.
And going back to Andrew's question, which was people talking about this tanking for Lawrence, which I Some of the news coming out is Trevor Lawrence may not even come out of college this year. So he's only in his third year, so he is eligible for another year in college. So I would just leave the tank in for Lawrence talk well alone.
Honest,
say it, Paul. Say it again.
I don't want Trevor Lawrence in a Cowboys jersey. I don't want him.
We've got a quarterback.
No.
Got a quarterback. You've got your quarterback.
We've got a quarterback, but I just don't like. I don't like this whole idea. We should fucking. Oh, sorry, excuse me. I'm getting a bit pissed off now. I don't like this idea where we should actually be giving up to try and get this overall pick when there's worse teams than us. Like the Jets are going to get worse. Like they will end up trading down for a team that are more desperate and that. Like we have more bigger needs now than a quarterback right now. And that's
so I mean
now
go on.
I'm saying O-lines now are, I would say, for next season is our priority to rebuild the team again. To build that what we had for so many years was like the second version of the Great Wall of Dallas.
It was almost there, yeah.
It was almost there. But the only thing we didn't have was a championship. That's the only thing it was kind of missing from. We had the best O-line in the NFL for so many years, but with no reward.
Yeah.
But we need to build on that again. And I just feel like why get this? Like, say for example, if we did draft Trevor Lawrence by some miracle, right? Do you really think he's going to survive within a couple of games with the O-line that we have right now? Not a chance. He would wish he would wish he would have drafted by probably even the Jets because they've actually restocked their O-line right now.
But even the Jets O-line is getting injured.
I'm only gonna tack on to what Paul said. He's hit it out of the park. It's ridiculous to take a QB that high.
When you've got Dak.
When you've got Dak, because we still do have Dak, and we'll have We've got another 4 months to negotiate with Dak. You only have to look at the Bengals. They took Baker Mayfield was 3 years ago.
That was the Browns that took him.
Yeah. So the Browns took him 3 years ago, and they've only just started winning now. The Bengals took their QB 1-5.
Yeah.
You must put Sam Darnold, the Jets are 0-7. They've only just taken their tackle. They've only just taken Mekhi Becton. There is no point in putting a QB back there to get killed. You build your wall, you get him a decent level of receiver, and then you take your QB.
Just to add and support your point here, the only QB I could think in terms of the first rounds that have actually proven instant success is probably Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. That's the only two I could think.
Lamar Jackson, I wouldn't say Josh Allen.
Well, Josh Allen's now starting to come out of show now. Like the first
a little
season,
bit, yeah.
But this season, I think he's playing really good football right now. Personally, I think, but you get the idea. You don't have to be number one overall to get him. It's like there's always going to be this quarterback. It's just going to come out. And
all you got to look at is, we'll talk about it now, is Wentz versus Dak. Now look at where the Eagles took Wentz.
There's no competition in that. I'm sorry.
The only reason people, when they talk about Wentz and Dak and they say about, which is the better quarterback, all they look at is Wentz was taken second overall, I think it was, or third. Dak was taken in the fourth round.
Yep.
And there's that stigmata that always goes with it.
And if you put them side by statistics, Dak is the better quarterback. Also by game, like if you watch the film on Wentz and watch the film on Dak, Dak does have better awareness when it comes to the pocket, and when it comes to where his receivers are half the time.
Yeah,
Wentz just seems to give up and just throw the ball away, and he ends up getting caught out on it.
you got two different versions of Wentz, and you've got Wentz who plays on fire and Wentz who just disappears, mental lapses, and you never know what Wentz you're going to get. But I mean, the thing he did ask though, Andrew, was to sign Dak. Do you think that they'll offer him another tag, and do you think he'll take it? And I think yes to both. If it did come to that.
I think what will happen, he will initially sign the tag to renegotiate that contract. What we did with D-Law, because D-Law did sign his franchise tag, then after so many weeks later, then we signed him to the extension of the contract, which voided that franchise tag.
Yeah. I would go even further than that. I see a full deal for Dak Prescott. I think the Cowboys will. The Cowboys know who they have. Dak knows that the Cowboys want him. Who's going to be lining up to sign Dak Prescott?
Well, you'd be surprised.
I think there's a certain level of risk, which will help the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys will get a very reasonable deal now because, unfortunately, Dak didn't sign his big offer. So I think he's lost a few $1 million there, but that's in the past.
He will get that back from other ways of revenue, if it's for sponsorship or for marketing or TV commercials. He will get that money back some way or another.
Yeah, but to go back to Andrew's comment, I think Dak gets a new 4-year deal with the Cowboys. I wouldn't go anywhere near I don't think the franchise tag will be required.
I think that it could be all smoke and mirrors because of the media. They're just trying to make a big highlight of the situation because it is America's team. End of the day, like we're always going to be on the topic of all the headhunting media moodros, like Bayless and Stephen A. Smith and all those idiots. So, to be honest, and rightly so, because who talks about all these other teams more than us? Like we always seem to be like the focal point. So.
Yeah, and another thing you got to take into account as well is how much Jerry loves to play the media. Yeah, just to keep the Cowboys' name out. He does it all the time.
He did it with Zeke when it came to his contract. Like he did when he made the whole T-shirt. Like he made the comment during an interview. Zeke who, all that type of stuff. Do you remember that? Then he made a T-shirt. And presented it to Zeke during the press conference, and they were like pure laughing it off as if they were best buds again. I'm like, it's like if there's one thing about Jerry Jones, he is a marketing genius. He
just loves to play the media. He just loves it.
He can, but at the same time, it's his bloody flaw because he's making us fans getting our bloody hopes up.
Yeah, that's what he does, and he gets people talking and people talking about the Cowboys. That's just what he does. Yeah. But you was talking about Carson Wentz, so let's get on it and get onto the fun side, which is the Cowboys' defense. So, like I say, Carson Wentz, one of the big things is he's always hot or cold, and you touched on it briefly, Greg. One of the things that is missing for the Eagles are pass catchers. Now, they do have Travis Fulgham, who has come on quite nicely. Jalen Reagor as well. He had the shoulder injury. He has been in practice as well this week, but I don't think that means much. I think it's more individual drills he's been doing. Can't see him playing. I think the issue you've got with Wentz is it's still the same problem as it was last year. It's a slow offense. It's slow and it's clunky. I don't even know if Dallas Goedert's playing. He's still on the shelf at the moment as well. What are you guys making of the Eagles' pass catching situation and how that plays, if you like, into our defensive situation?
In some way, this could be a blessing in disguise, and this is how this could be the really lucky game that we could actually catch a break on. But I'm not banking on it. But I still think Eagles' defense is going to control the game. I'll be perfectly honest, but in terms of their offense, I really don't know.
But I mean, let me put it to you this way: we're talking about our O-line being injured and lackluster, if you like. I guarantee you, the Eagles are doing the same thing in their conversation. They're talking about how many injuries they've had on their offensive line, and how they've had to plug them in with these unknown guys. I mean, like some of their biggest offensive line names are on injured reserve right now.
Yeah.
And here's one for you, and I'm going to make you really, really happy here, right, Paul? This will put a smile on your face. Everson Griffin's gone. Dontari Poe is gone, which means two things, right?
I'm happy.
Yeah, right. I'm making you happy. I'm going to make you even more happier. That means Neville Gallimore is plugged to be the defensive tackle starter. That's just how it's going to go. There's a smile on the face. Here's the next one. There's nobody on the right side of the line, right, as the bookend. Everson Griffin is gone, which means two things. Randy Gregory and Bradley and I.
Okay, yeah. Right, I can't even fucking talk about it.
Come on.
That makes me happy. That makes me very happy. I'm sorry, like, from a player's perspective and all that type of stuff, like, whenever Randy Gregory is on the field, he always torments and destroys people. Always. Like, it's just unfortunate the fact that he's just had suspension after suspension, blah, 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 just because of personal mistakes. You know? But whenever he is on that football field, he causes absolute mayhem every single time. And if there's one thing that we've been lacking right now, is speed. And that's where Bradley and A comes into the play.
And Randy Gregory. Think of Randy Gregory's guy.
And big Neville Gallimore, like, for a defensive tackle, he can move.
Yeah. So really, what you're going to be looking at is sort of in the middle is this sort of
it's pretty much a revamped defensive line, but the way it should have been at the very start. I don't know. They just wanted to bring these more experienced guys in to learn from. When they going to learn anything from bloody Poe, from what I can tell.
Well, I mean, like, what you've got to be looking at really with Gallimore is it was just the weight thing that he needed to get a bit more of an anchor into him, which I'm sure he'll do. But you're going to see, a bit of Tyrone Crawford switched in there, who hasn't been playing great, I will say. But what he does bring, Tyrone Crawford, is leadership and a bit of control. I don't know what you make of that, guys.
Yeah, I can see he can bring the leadership, and yeah, I can, because he's been the Cowboys probably the longest in that group. I would say.
Oh yeah,
he's been there longer than D-Law.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, he knows what's at stake there. I think with him being there the longest, like, he should take that responsibility and actually like grab it, like, draw a set of balls and actually do something about it. But just to add on that as well, I can't forget my buddy as well, Antoine Woods. I can't forget about him.
It's gonna be him and Gallimore, and then depending how they want to use Tyrone Crawford really to switch things up. But
Alfie, I can completely agree with that. Like, I was so excited. Yeah. I was so excited to see McCoy in a Cowboys jersey, and he was in the prime. Like I said this on Tuesday's show. And I was so looking forward to the fact that we were going to see him, and he was in prime physical condition, had a good off season. He was actually posting his workouts, what he was doing, similar to what Alden Smith was doing, like just documenting everything and seeing the progress they were making and that. Then that happened. So yeah, I completely agree, Alfie.
He was probably the guy I was looking forward to the most. The only issue I've got is when you look at the Carolina Panthers last year, they struggled against the run, and that's exactly what we're struggling with this year. And we picked up Dontari Poe, Gerald McCoy, but I think McCoy would have brought something a bit different to what Dontari Poe brought to the game. But talking of run defense, because Miles Sanders.
I'm sorry. I need to throw this back at you when you're talking about these two guys. It's like, do you think Dontari Poe was the main sole reason why the Panthers were that rubbish against the inside run, and McCoy was the one who was actually doing all the hustling?
Well, this is my point. I mean, you're talking, when you talk Dontari Poe, Gerald McCoy, you're talking about two guys last year for the Panthers that was on one of the worst defenses in the league, and then it seemed to transition over. But like you said, I know what you're saying. Does the left hand feed the right in terms of they were side by side? Yeah. I know where you're coming from there. But and I don't know what the situation with Miles Sanders, what to say. Yeah, for the Eagles. So I think he's not playing. He hasn't practiced this week yet, but they do have Boston Scott, who has been playing well. Given the way the Cowboys' defense is against the run, Graham, do you think Boston Scott really is the guy we need to be keying in to slow him down so the rest falls into place?
I'm going to jump in. Sorry, Graham. I'm going to jump in straight away. Yes, because it's happened all season. It's happened all season. We completely forgot about the second running back, and they're the ones that actually screwed us over.
Yeah,
like Cleveland, bloody, what you call it? The Giants, their running back, Devontae Freeman, fucking had a balling game, and God knows. I mean, I can't even remember half of these guys' names. But the fact is, like overall, it was over 500 rushing yards or something like that.
It's been frightening. It's been
yeah,
frightening.
It has been.
I'm going to get a plaque. And I'm going to hang it around here. The Cowboys D revives running games. And
that should
thankfully, Miles Sanders isn't playing. I don't think
it doesn't look like it. Doesn't look
like it.
Life matter.
Boston Scott, he was kind of like a fantasy kind of waiver wire pickup a couple of weeks ago, but it didn't really happen for him. I don't think. To my knowledge, there isn't anybody else, so it's going to be Boston Scott. But you can't get away from the ascendancy of Fulgham, from Rodgers, from what's the guy's name? There's another wide receiver.
See, I can't even tell you the names of the.
Greg Ward. Greg Ward,
who's had
three touchdown catches.
Greg Ward hasn't been playing too badly either lately. You know,
they've still got Rager as far as I'm aware. So
I don't think he's playing.
Is he not playing? Right. Okay. Well, even with that list, with our cornerbacks, you just don't know. It would be nice to get a Woozy back.
Awuzie is back, and that's going to be my next question for you, right? And I'll ask it to you, Gray. Is Cheeto is back, right? He's in practice. He has been practicing.
Yeah.
So with the way Diggs is with his mental lapses, which are totally inevitable being a rookie, it's his mental lapses that physically and during the play, playing out of structure. You can see he does. He's got it there. It's fine. It's just the mental lapses that you see. He tends to sit back. You catch him on his heels.
Yeah,
he doesn't know what coverage he's in.
He got caught out last Sunday. Yeah.
It's just mental, which I think will be fine. Once he gets there, he's going to be locked down, right? But with Cheeto back, would you put him in over Diggs at this current stage? You know what you've got in Cheeto.
No, I'd still go with Diggs.
I still would go with Diggs.
Yeah? I would still go with Diggs.
See, I'm going over onto Cheeto's side of the fence, yeah?
What do you guys think? Guys watching?
Yeah, let us know in the comments.
Cheeto or Diggs?
Who's the other corner? Would it be Brown?
Jordan Lewis and Anthony Brown.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I'm not sure if Anthony Brown is injured. Nope, he's fine. So, yeah. They would be the options.
I still remember that play against the Cardinals. Oh. See, this is the thing. We can question the Eagles wide receivers all we like, but our cornerbacks, we've got a saying here in the UK, they're bomb scares. They are bomb scares, and you don't know if
they're Bobo Baldies, mate.
That's even more.
So then, the other one.
Sorry for everyone that's watching there, but if you're a Glasgow Celtic fan, you know what a Bobo Baldy is.
It's a biscuit, isn't it?
No.
Some people call him a biscuit.
But the only other one, there's two more players I wanted to touch on before we get to the fantasy side. So we've got players going. Andrew brought up a good point. Do you think players are going to be scared having seen the cuts? I think they will. It's going to have a mental effect.
Absolutely.
But if you're cutting players, and you're not really, they haven't made any trades to pick players up. Do you think this is the point now where the rookies you've taken down the line, like Reggie Robinson, do you just say, let's see what they've got?
See, what is the situation with Reggie Robinson, right? He's not
I don't know.
had a game
I don't
yet.
know. I know. And I asked the guys over at Dallas Cowboys if there's a situation, what's the problem there? Apparently all it is he's practicing bad. Apparently. I don't know how much.
Really?
Apparently, yeah. It's not there at the moment with him.
If it's that bad, then cut him, then bring someone else in and might actually do a decent job.
Which was going to be the next thing, yeah.
Why keep him on?
Why keep him there? Yeah, like, you know, it's a weird. It is a very weird one, and I don't quite understand it myself. But you know,
my thought on the comment is that I don't know what cutting or releasing 3 players is going to do to the rest, because they must know themselves that they're not playing well. So if they know they're not playing well, either raise your game or basically wait on the inevitable.
Well, put it this way: Brian O'Neill's not really had any snaps at all at D-line, none at all, because of like said Griffin and all that. So for him to get now an opportunity to get on the field, and now for Randy Gregory to get on the field, I can see a bit of a turnover.
A shift. Yeah, a shift. Yeah.
Maybe that shift of momentum, because if there's one thing that's been happening the past couple of weeks, everyone's talking about Randy Gregory's been killing it during practice. I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know. That could be another media thing.
That is. I've asked. Yeah, he's been on fire.
So if that's the case, this could be the wee fire that we need to set that defense to wait the heffing up. You know.
Yeah. And I mean. Go on, Greg.
The way our season on defense is going, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I agree with what you guys are saying, but I wouldn't be surprised if the rest of the defensive unit thought, "Oh, great, that's 3 players out the door. I'm going to get more game time," and basically carry on.
Well,
but that can spur you on.
That could spur you on. That would be like prove a point to say, okay, well, if he's getting cut, it's my time to shine and actually see it. Like, I've been killing it in practice. Why was I not getting a start? All that type of stuff. So who knows, Graham? Who knows, mate? Like, I just hope that we just do not play that the way we did against Washington. That's all I'm hoping for.
Yeah. Now, the only guy I wanted to touch on, which brings a bit of controversy, then we're going to flash over to fantasy, is Jalen Smith, guys. A lot of people saying trade him. Some people look at the stats, raw stats, and go, well, look, where's the medium for you guys? I mean, for me, all I'm seeing is Jalen Smith. I think he's a great player, but he just needs to slow himself down. He needs to stop and calm down. What do you guys think?
Right, so with Jalen Smith, right, I love Jalen Smith. I've met him as well. Great guy.
Yeah.
He's trying to do too much. He's not trusting his teammates right now because the way how things are going right now. That is one of them. Also the fact, he may be having so many tackles right now. He's leading the NFL in tackles. Am I right saying that?
He's very high.
Yeah.
He's very high up there.
Yeah, he leads the NFL.
Right, so he leads the NFL in tackles, right? Mm-hmm. But everyone's still looking at the small points where the big mistakes, like that tackle on, was it Logan Thomas, the tight end, that touchdown? I don't know who it was, but that's inexcusable. That was bad technique and tackling. That's just done for because he read that way too late because he was focusing on something else. Because again, I think he's just. I don't think he trusts his other core members of his linebacker core. I really don't.
No.
I don't know. I just think he just needs to slow down. You see him, and he's
trying to do too much.
He's been a busybody. Is the best way to describe what he's doing. And I think if he just slows himself down for a minute, he'll be where he needs to be. Do you know what I mean? And but I think in terms of saying trade him, I think that's a bad idea.
No, I wouldn't trade him. And not just that, like Jalen, I appreciate a player that would took a reduction contract just to play for us, and that's what Jalen did. It was the same with Cooper. They two I admire for that because it wasn't so much a bit like, yeah, they got paid handsomely, yeah, they're getting paid a fair bit of money, but the thing is, though, they could have got a hell of a lot more money from other teams and stuff like that, and like if they were to test free agency. So I give them that credit for that. But in terms of what you were just saying there, Mike,
I'll keep this short. We have the 32nd ranked defense in the league in terms of scores, right?
Yes, correct.
Do you really want to take the top tackler in the NFL out of that?
No.
Make it worse.
We just traded to the Lions our second sack leader, mind.
I'll be honest. I think people are going after Jalen Smith because of the contract. See, because he's in a big contract, and this is what bewilders me. Because
that's the thing. People forget he actually took a reduction. He took a Jerry deal on that. Like, if anything, people should be praising Jalen for that. If in all honesty, just like there's other linebackers that are actually probably earning an extra 40 million plus, and they're not. Like, who's the linebacker that signed for? Was it Miami? Got a big massive contract, or who was it? I can't remember. There was a linebacker who only played one good season, got a big massive free agency contract not that long ago, and he's just below average, and people are raging about that. And it just comes to show it's like, you know.
Yeah, no, I get it. I just think I just think that people are on him because you're seeing a lot of leaking in run defense, and usually when you see that, the guy you blame is the linebacker. But what you do see with Jalen is you just see him so frantic, and I just think and I tell you what he's doing is he's freelancing, right? He's freelancing his position.
Brian Broaddus said that.
There we go. Yeah, but you can see it. I mean, he's free and freelancing as a linebacker in any position in the NFL is fine, right? Because you're the guy, you're the closest, it's your eyes, you can see it. And I've always said this, freelance. But if you're going to freelance, make sure that you freelance correctly. Because if you do it wrong, this is what happens, and that is what he's doing. I think he's freelancing a little bit and catching himself. He's catching himself out of position and off guard, and then people are like, "What's he doing?"
I just want to correct myself. It wasn't Miami. He just signed for the Jets. It was Blake Martinez. I was thinking about.
Yeah. Okay. I'm with you. But that's all I think we've got to say on that. Right. So let's do some score predictions. Always a fun bit. So everyone at home, send us your comments. Tell us what you think is going to be the final score. I'll go first, as always, to let you guys get a good bit of thought going. And I am going to say the Cowboys win. They're going to win this one. And let's see, Zeke. Yeah, he's going to have a good game. Coop comes up big too. Okay, so we're going to say 25-17 to the Cowboys.
Valente with 27-10, She-Girls.
Well, I disagree. But go on then, Gray. What have you got? Give me your score prediction, and then we'll move into fantasy.
Do I have to?
You don't have to if you don't want to.
What I will say, right?
Yeah,
what I will say in the group and in the private comments that carry down the right hand side for us, not one has gone for a Cowboys win.
I'm going for a Cowboys win.
There's another one. And another one.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, folks. If you want to chime in and
you are wrong. You are.
Wait
Wait a minute. We
are.
gotta win. We gotta win. That's more like it.
Oh, Alfie
So,
brings
go
it
on then,
back.
Gray.
Come on, man.
Right, okay.
Come on, Gray.
I called it last week and I'm calling it again. It's going to be
Mystic G.
21-7 Eagles.
Okay. Paul,
It's
what
going
are
to be
you going for?
Russian touchdown for Zeke.
My scoreline? 34-10 Cowboys.
Yes! I love it! Boom! More like it.
I don't know. I'm going for the unexpected.
Expect the unexpected. What you've got to remember is it's a division game, so everything goes out the window. Right, let's get into fantasy then. Right then, guys, send us your scores in still if you want, guys. But we are doing fantasy, so it's very, very simple. I'm going to give you the score that these players are going to get, and you give me two options. So, boy, oh boy means it's going to be the score or higher, and oh boy is less. All right. So I like that. Big Ben coming for the W. That could be Ben DiNucci's, but we've got a Big Ben, so we'd have to be called Biggest Ben. I don't know. All right then. So
it would have to be little bit. It would have to be
Baby Ben.
No, little Ben. Little Benny, because he's got a Italian surname.
Yeah, little Benny. All right then. So what about Uncle Ben?
Nah, Uncle Benny's rice, mate.
Yes. So there we go. We'll go with Bigger Ben. Thank you for that.
Boys.
Right. Okay. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first this week.
Yeah.
You threw Paul on the deep end last week.
Let's have a look. Who runs team? The UK Cowboys team in the Gallup League. That would be myself, mate. And I do the UK, the NFL UK League as well, where, believe it or not, UK Cowboys are in the lead. Oh yeah.
At least we're doing well somewhere.
Oh yeah, we're leading. I think somebody posted that up in NFL UK that the Cowboys are winning in something.
Well, I'm doing well in Madden 21. I actually got the Cowboys in the playoffs.
Oh yeah. What level difficulty are you in then? Are you on rookie? Rookie, are you?
Difficult. Come on. Rookie you.
Right, okay then. I'm going to start you off, Gray. I'll give you Ben DiNucci. Yeah, that's right. This time it's your turn to get all the toughies. Ben DiNucci, 15 fantasy points. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. I think you find I'm not hand. Sorry, mate.
What's lossing mean?
Lossing. I think it means losing, but we got it.
I'm sorry, Andrew. I had to.
That's the perfectionism in you coming out again.
Yeah.
Right.
So for let me get this right. It's a point for every 30 yards and 3 points for a touchdown pass. Is that right?
In this particular league, yeah. It's standard score.
So for that, you're looking maybe 200 yards and a passing touchdown.
So chucking some rushing yards as well. Don't forget the rushing yards, which he will get. A lot of people are predicting less, yeah?
It's got to be oh boy.
Oh boy, less than.
He's gone right into the deep end. He's got
boy or boys up and old boys down, right?
Old boys under.
Yeah, oh boy is less. Yeah.
I'm going boy or boy.
Nah,
I'm saying that it'll probably be about that. So I'm going boy or boy on that one.
You're on to nothing, I'm afraid, Ben. Sorry.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to send you. I still need to send you goodie packages off.
Graham's savage.
And you, Mr. Paul, went from hashtag feeling down to looking much more positive and a lot of colour back in your cheeks.
Yeah, well, no bloody one. I didn't tell you, pose off. I'm happy as Larry.
There you go. See? Something for everyone. Now, Carson Wentz, mate. Carson Wentz. Now,
really?
all depends. All depends. And I got a little fact about these pair is that Ben DiNucci played for James Madison, and they played North Dakota State in the FCS final, and that's where Wentz is from. So it's a little bit of a sort of going back to that. But I'm not going to tell you what happened in that game because it will make you more depressed. Shall I tell you?
It doesn't really matter.
Well, in that game, in the FCS final, DiNucci threw a pick six that got North Dakota State the win.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, Carson Wentz, 19 fantasy points. Boy, oh boy, or oh boy.
I'm sorry, how many points?
19, 1-9. I don't mind if you send it in a post, and.
I'm going to say, oh boy, but just.
Okay, I like that. All right, and so I'm going to give you Boston Scott, right? A lot of people are saying, oh boy. It'd be interesting to see what's going to go on with the defense on that one. I'm going to give you Boston Scott, Paul.
What are the fuck
Boston Scott, 15 fantasy points. Running back, basically. All right, I'll go with that, mate. Next London game.
Boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
15. Yeah, it's got to be. Let me put you on that.
No, the reason I'm saying that because he's fucking unknown. I don't even know a Scooby-Doo about this kid, and he's trying to absolutely. Excuse me, pizza.
He's gonna rumble.
Oh,
yeah, he's on form as well at the moment. He had a bit of a down game a couple of weeks ago, but he brought it back again, so it's be quite interesting. So Graham, I'm going to give you Zeke, 16 fantasy points.
That could.
Oh boy.
Go on, Gray. Oh boy.
Oh boy. Yeah. Not against this line.
Mm-hmm.
I told everybody last week, start Gibson. I'm telling you this week, start Boston. Yeah. That's just what I'll say in that last point.
Oops.
I'll say that.
Throw my pen across the room.
But we've seen the center of their D line is solid. The center of our O line is questionable at best, even with Zach Martin back in there. Let's not beat around the bush. The box is going to be loaded.
This is what I actually see. I see Zeke going up the middle, pummeling the line, but it'll be Pollard that gets the big break on the outside zone. I could just see it. I can see Zeke finishing on like 50 yards and Pollard on 100. And it'll be that sort of game.
The other thing that's going to bring Zeke's score down is you cannot guarantee that he's not going to cough up the ball. It's a proper issue just now. Once is a one-off.
I think he's past that now.
But honestly, we all hope so. But
yeah,
we saw he went no sleeves against the Redskins. Maybe that's changed his kind of psyche a little bit. But there's a little bit of damaged reputation to repair there, and it would be nice to see him do it on Sunday.
All right, Paul.
I'm saying boy oh boy to Zeke.
All right, I like it. It could go that way. It very much could.
Like, even if he's in the red zone within 10 yards and scores 2 touchdowns, that's 10 points plus your point for those 10 yards. So that's 14 points already. So I think he's definitely going to get more than 20 yards, but I think he will get 2 touchdowns. So that's why I'm saying more. And that's what I'm saying.
And there you go. Multiple touchdowns means he gets it over. But give me Cooper, right, Paul? 15 fantasy points.
Oh boy.
Okay. Travis Fulgham, For Philly is on 15 points as well, Gray. Boy, oh boy, or oh boy?
Boy, oh boy. Don't even have to think about it. Don't even have to think about it.
CD Lamb. I'm going to give this one to Paul. CD Lamb, 13 fantasy points.
That's bang on.
Yeah. So just level peg on that one.
Yeah, level peg.
Okay.
Fell off the radar last week. I've got him in a couple of leagues.
Yeah. He did fall off, but the whole team did last week. You got to kind of take that whole situation with a pinch of salt, I think. Dalton Schultz, 6 fantasy points.
See, I feel like we say this every week, but tight end's tough because tight ends can be very touchdown dependent. I mean, those 6 points could come from one pass in the red zone. It's tough. It's tough on tight ends. Without the benefit of hindsight, I'm going to say do you know what? Actually, he had a quiet week last week, and it's impossible to predict tight ends. So I'm going to go boy, oh boy.
I like it. I like it.
Because if they can get he's the kind of surprise package if their cornerbacks are having a good game. Because I'm not too sure on who the Eagles linebacker core is, but if there's going to be a pass catching tight end, it's going to be Dalton. So Dalton Schultz might have a big game on Sunday.
Yeah, I think so. Like Stephen's saying, but he's going to be a safety valve for a rookie quarterback. So expect it. Quite a bit of work from him. Eagles defense, Paul, 7 fantasy points. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Boy, oh boy.
Boy, oh boy. Oh dear me, Paul. Okay. And 6 fantasy points for the Cowboys defense, Gray.
That's Paul's question there. That's the easiest one of the round. I'm going to say I'm sorry.
I will put that down. I'll put that down.
Sorry, can I get the question again? Sorry.
Dallas defense, 6 fantasy points.
So it really depends.
Boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy, or oh boy.
It's so hard to predict the defense, though. Just how it's
them and tight ends annoy me the most in fantasy.
Well, I mean, you can just go with the sacks, but I think we're 32nd ranked interceptions. I've talked enough about our D line not getting to the ball. I'm fed up saying the same thing every week. Not getting to the QB every week. I'm fed up saying it. 32nd in scoring. I'm going to go oh boy. Because I don't see the evidence for getting over 6.
Yeah,
anywhere.
That's fair enough. Well, but I mean that is pretty much that all rounded up. Just a very quick shout out before you guys go anywhere. A quick shout out to our sponsor, Cowboys Experience, who have sent us some nifty bits and pieces, which I need to send that out to everyone. But if you go to a game this year or next year, which is going to be more than likely, make sure you book it with Cowboys Experience. They got game day tickets, stadium tours, and tailgate experiences where you get to meet players as well, past and present. And as we say every week, when if any of you do go with Cowboys Experience, send us your photos. Even if you've gone with them in the past, we'll always stick them straight up, no matter what. But guys, I think that wraps everything neatly up for this week, and thank you very much as well. We will see you Monday morning, and everybody else Monday, as well. The group chat will be open and available. Yep. Monday morning, 1:25 a.m. for us here in the UK. Will you be partaking with us, Mr. Graham, or are you on baby watch?
I think with the way he's going just now, I'll be on baby watch. He's teething extremely badly at the moment, so we'll play it by ear.
Always,
shall we say?
Always fun times. You got teething? You got the teething powder?
No. He's
good stuff.
Is it?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
really good.
Not tried it.
Yeah, I tried it myself, and I was like, "Whoa, hold on a minute now. What is this?" But yes, guys, that's us for now until we speak to you all on Monday when the show's on. Sorry, when the game's
Tuesday.
on. But for myself, Paul, and Graham, Monday. Oh no, I mean in the group chat.
Oh, right. Sorry.
When the game's on.
I thought you were talking about the next show.
The next show will be Tuesday, and we've got a special guest on the pre-game show next week as well. But yes, we will speak to them. From myself, Paul and Graham. We'll see you then, guys.
Go
See you next
Cowboys.
time.